I was completely wrong about Destiny 2. That game is pretty awful. You might disagree with me, and that's completely fine. If you like a game, and there's many who do like the game, you know, that's completely your thing. You have your own reasons for it. But for me, I went into it expecting something a lot better. And to be honest, the story wasn't very good. And yes, I hadn't played the first one, however, I keep hearing reports that the first game's story wasn't that deep to begin with. So we have a bad story, not very compelling gameplay, unless you're really, really hardcore into the looter-shooter thing like Borderlands. And even then, the guns aren't super different or compelling in and of themselves, so you just have a very watered-down kind of boring game, or at least that's how it felt to me. And I'm a huge fan of Bungie, have been ever since the Halo Combat Evolved days. I know many people were definitely big fans of them back then, and you know, some are still, but I really can't help but feel like Bungie have been completely taken over by Activision's, you know, corporatization, so to speak. So I really only have one game that itches that sci-fi fantasy itch, and of course you guys know I'm talking about Warframe by Digital Extremes. Warframe initially released in March of 2013. Let that sink in for a second. A game that came out in 2013, 5 years ago, or almost 5 years ago, is better than a game that came out this past year. And not just a little bit better, but incredibly, extremely better. The game is now introducing open world areas with its own mining, fishing, quests, and whatnot, and it's all being expanded upon with every upcoming update. You have worlds full of different types of missions to go on with up to 4 players in co-op. The missions alone can take hundreds of hours to go through. You can play the game on the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the PC, and not to mention there's just thousands of ways to decorate and make your own custom Warframe, and make it really feel like it is your Warframe and that it belongs to you. So we have this very deeply personal experience with our Warframe and our creations in the game. Our ships and the way that they're put together and their design and their color scheme are even up to us to choose. This amount of player choice and customization for me, personally, is huge, and I know for many others it's a huge part of the game. A lot of people say that the end game of Warframe is really fashion frame, and I don't blame them for saying that, because that is exactly what it feels like for me. Right now, I'm not really so worried about which gun I'm getting next, but which, cosmetic item I'm going to wear next, So, that's huge. But I think the most important thing about Warframe that really does differentiate it from Destiny 2 is the development team and their willingness to listen to feedback and their willingness to expand upon their ideas to the community, whether it be a positive or a negative change, and then their willingness to hear the response to that change and fix it or tweak it. Bungie used to be a very community-driven development studio. Especially back when Halo 3 was around. We had all of these community tools for sharing our creations and making our own maps and doing our own custom games. Bungie had a really big part in bringing a lot of Xbox players together, and a lot of friendships were made because of that. And I feel like Digital Extremes is doing pretty much the same exact thing, but almost a little bit better. They have almost weekly live streams with their development team talking about upcoming updates, as well as showing off community creations and communities, things that they're kind of wanting to expand upon in the game, and I love that. But then you look at Bungie and how they're treating their people on Reddit and on their forums, and it really, I don't want to go into specifics. There's plenty of videos. If you search Young Yeah, his videos are great about Bungie and how they're treating the Destiny 2 community right now. But pretty much it really does seem like they are milking their customers for money, and they're not treating them like a fan base. And that is the one thing that made me return to Warframe and be very positive about the return. Now, typically with Warframe, I'm kind of an on-again, off-again person with the game. Whenever there's a big update, I'll come check it out for a week, and then I might go do something else for a bit. Now, that's not because the game is bad, it's just my personal video game tastes and whatnot kind of fluctuate a lot. One week I'll like this, the next week I'll like that, or want to play this, and then next week I want to do that. I'm kind of putting my fingers in too many pies here, so to speak, so Warframe is definitely a game I come back to consistently, though. And I really do think that's just down to the community aspect of the game. If you ever need help in Warframe, you know, you just type your question into the global chat and someone's there to help you. If you ever have anything you want to share with the community, you can do the same thing. Someone's going to be there to check it out. And the thing about Warframe is that it's just like a game that keeps giving back to you. Yes, you can dump lots of money into it for personal cosmetic reasons, but that's just a personal decision you can make. And by the way, the game is completely free, so you have hundreds of hours of content and lots of accessories and cosmetic, options available to you from the beginning if you're willing to invest a bit of time. And by a bit of time, I do mean it can get a little ridiculous at times, but it is all fair. And that's another thing that Digital Extremes has been talking about with the community, is ways to lessen the grind and lessen the pain for the people who aren't really huge fans of that aspect of games. And Warframe, also, another criticism that a lot of people have towards it is that there's a lot to learn. There's a lot of things that don't even get explained to you in the game, and I can completely understand where they're coming from with that criticism, because I was one of those people too. I had exactly the same problem, and to this day I still am constantly on the Wikipedia stuff or on Google searching for how to do this in Warframe or how to get that in Warframe. And to be honest, that's a part of the game they could expand upon, and they have said in multiple streams and whatnot that they do plan on looking at that and trying to fix it in the future. And I don't have any, doubt that they will try. Unlike Bungie with Destiny 2, where they hear the feedback and they might change one little thing here or there to appease the masses, so to speak. Speaking of masses, apparently people are leaving the game in mass quantity, but let's not go there. So if you really do miss the days of Halo and the days of Halo Reach and all of the online community that built and all the personalization that armor brought to you in multiplayer, and all of the little things that just kind of culminated into a good community experience, you're gonna find everything you want in Warframe. And I guess that's kind of the crux of this video. It's not really to convince you. I mean, maybe it will. That'd be great if it does. But, the game is free. I don't think there's any reason why you shouldn't give it a shot. But, your time is very valuable. You can play whatever you want. That's up to you. But I do think Warframe is a game that you should put up there as one that you should try very soon, because there's just so much that you get from this game. It's so giving to you, and it's all free. That's the thing. There's people who spend hundreds of dollars on it, sure, and I've spent, I don't want to tell you, but it's nothing like crazy, but I have spent at least a AAA game price in Warframe, because I do feel like Digital Extremes deserve every dollar of it. It's a game, like I said, that keeps giving, and there's always something to be doing, there's always something to be going for. I know people who have YouTube channels dedicated to the game who've probably put in well over 3,000 hours. And then I've seen reviews on Steam where people have like 2,000 hours or something on the game, and they still leave it a downvote for some reason. But it's just funny to see, like, this game gives you so much content, asks so little of you other than for your time, and just, it's ridiculous. It's the game that everyone should be playing if they like sci-fi, fantasy, space power fantasies and things like of that nature. It's perfect, and it's got a massive online community that's really talented and does a lot of great things and brings a lot of new ideas to the table that Digital Extremes tend to expand upon. So that is it. That's my Warframe video. That's just me giving a little tangent. I didn't really pre-script any of this. I don't normally do that for a lot of videos, but I just felt like having a nice little fireside chat about the game and letting you guys kind of know why Warframe in 2018 is a good game to play. So yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you want any more future, well, just anything PC gaming related. I know I'm going to be covering Ace Combat in March, hopefully. So that's the next big thing I'm going to be playing. But until then, I'm going to be playing a lot of Warframe and Rainbow Six Siege, so if you're interested in that kind of content, as well as some Killing Floor 2 stuff here and there, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And, you know, I have a Patreon too, but I'm not going to show that too much because I know that gets kind of weird because everybody does it. But, hey, you know, I got one. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.